So, do cartoonists, the same people who brought us the marvelous piece Children of the Night, let's start with yet another awesome animation, The Moon Rises. Yeah, not gonna waste an entire video praising it to the end. So to make things short, it is a beautiful reimagining of Luna's transformation into Nightmare Moon accompanied by a stunning song. It is gorgeous, you should all watch it. If you expected someone who is just rambling 5 to 10 minutes how awesome this animation is, I am sure you find enough reviewers doing exactly that. Instead, I want to discuss the folly of basically the same scene in the show. Let me ask you this. If you think of Luna's banishment, what is the first thing that comes to mind? The scene from the season 4 opener, or some amazing piece of fan work like Lullaby for a Princess? I'm asking this as works like Lullaby for a Princess and The Moon Rises take great liberties with an event we already saw in the show, and as much as I love them, I always have the small voice telling me that it contradicts the canon. I think they are awesome, but I believe they might have been more impressive if we haven't seen what actually happened, especially since the scene in the show basically amounted to nothing. Don't get me wrong, they put a lot of effort into it. Luna's transformation and the following battle scene simply look gorgeous. It might actually be the visual most pleasing scene in the entire show, but imagine it wasn't part of Princess Twilight Sparkle. Would you miss it? Probably not, because as awesome as this scene is, it doesn't add anything to the overall narrative of that episode. The scene only pads out the running time. The only connection it has to the episode is that Celestia used the elements of harmony in it, but it doesn't help Twilight at all. It also doesn't really show anything we didn't know either. If we were to skip it and just show the Discord flashback, we would have everything we need to know. So one of the most important moments of the show is used as filler. As such, it doesn't really get the spotlight it deserves, especially since it can't waste too much time, and I think the scene could have used a bit more of it. Next, there are a few questionable things about that scene. One thing that actually worked so great about Luna's background story is that it was kept vague. The only thing we know for certain is that Nightmare Moon tried to make the night last forever and that Celestia banished her in return, something she regretted for the next 1000 years. That's good material to work with. It's a very tragic story and not without a reason and inspiration for so much fan work. But the scene feels a bit rushed. It doesn't get enough time to develop the whole scenario. It especially hurts the scene that we witnessed Luna's transformation into Nightmare Moon, no matter how awesome it looked. But it makes you realize how little Nightmare Moon actually did. We see how she turns the day into the night. She only caused a glorified solar eclipse. Nothing more, and no one besides Celestia actually witnessed her doing that. And this is perhaps the detail that peeves me the most about the scene. It implies that no one besides Celestia ever witnessed Nightmare Moon. So Celestia must have been the one who wrote the story down and described her appearance in such detail that someone was able to craft a statue in Nightmare Moon's likeness. And worst of all, she let her subjects forget about the whole thing. Nightmare Moon is only remembered as a ponytail, which eventually morphed into the whole Nightmare Night story. Celestia, either you don't tell anyone what really happened, or you make sure that it is taught in history class at every school in Equestria, or at least at the unicorn school named after you. The whole thing would work much better if Celestia would simply discover an already transformed Luna, so we can't tell how long that everlasting night lasted. The problem with that scene is that it shows way too much in just 5 minutes. Think about it. Nightmare Moon lasted about 5 whole minutes before she was banished. She literally had no time to leave an impact on anyone beside her sister. It wouldn't be so jarring if Luna wasn't guilt-tripping herself all the time for all the terrible things she did. And even her impact on Celestia seems somewhat underwhelming in the scene. She only tells Luna to do her job. Celestia doesn't even try to reason with her. Nope, she's just scolding her, and throughout the scene she seems more pissed off than conflicted. The only indication that Celestia actually cares for her sister are the tears in her eyes while she is using the elements of harmony. Maybe it's because I watch too much anime, but I thought Celestia would show more emotions, considering her sister just turned into a rebellious megalomaniac that wants to kill her. Now if you compare this scene with Lullaby for a Princess, which is obviously heavily inspired by what we see in the show, you see how much it affects Celestia all the way through, which eventually leads to a complete breakdown when she banishes her sister more on accident than anything else in a last-ditch effort to save her own life. This one shot in which Celestia realized what she has done shows more emotion than Celestia has shown in the entire canon of the show. But the greatest weakness of the show version is that it should have been at least the focus of one entire episode and not just 5 minutes. The Moon Rises and Lullaby for a Princess succeed as they get their priorities straight. The Moon Rises focuses on Luna's corruption and only shows her transformation. It doesn't try to be more than that, and in the end is comparable to a Disney villain song sequence. Lullaby for a Princess, on the other part, focuses on Celestia reminiscing over the event and shows how the relationship between the two sisters worsened over time. As a result, it actually seems much better paced than the actual show. But what about you? Do you like this show presentation? What do you think is better, Lullaby for a Princess or The Moon Rises? Let me know in the comments. And remind me to do a positive video on the princesses someday. Besides what you might think, I actually like them a lot. I'm Tricky Fox. Stay foxy.
Sly as a fox, you got me under your spell. But you know I'll never tell that I know you know so well. Sometimes you can be too smart for you're